two 90-pound German shepherds, one newborn baby girl, and every single person in Claire's life telling her it was the worst decision she'd ever make. She almost listened. Then Ella came home, and Rex and Shadow did something nobody expected. Not on the first day, not in the first week, but on a Tuesday night at 3:17 a.m., when everything went silent and the only thing standing between a 4-month-old baby and something unthinkable were two dogs who had already decided she was theirs. Nobody warned Claire about the moment it would stop being her baby. Not her mother, not her doctor, not the 3 neighbors who spent 6 months telling her that keeping 2 German shepherds in the house with a newborn was the worst decision she'd ever make. Nobody warned her that on a Tuesday night at 3:17 a.m., she would walk into her daughter's room and understand, completely, finally, without any doubt, that Ella didn't just belong to her anymore. She belonged to them, both of them. Claire had owned Rex and Shadow since before her marriage. Rex came first. 92 pounds of black and tan German Shepherd, with ears that stood like radio towers and eyes that missed absolutely nothing. Shadow came 14 months later, slightly smaller at 88 pounds, darker coat, quieter personality, the kind of dog that watched a room before entering it. They were trained, obedient, loyal in the way that only German Shepherds can be loyal, not just to a person, but to a purpose. And for 3 years, their purpose had been Claire. When she got pregnant, the warning started immediately. Her mother called from 2 states away. "You need to find them a new home before the baby comes. I've read the stories, Claire." Her neighbor knocked on the door one Saturday morning specifically to deliver a printed article about large breeds and infant safety. She handed it over without making eye contact and walked back down the driveway. Her own sister, who had never once shown any interest in dog behavior, suddenly became an expert. They're unpredictable. You don't know how they'll react. One wrong move and… Claire listened to all of it. She read the articles, she watched the videos, she lay awake at 2 a.m. in her 3rd trimester running the numbers in her head. Then she looked at Rex and Shadow, both of them asleep on the floor beside her, and made her decision. They were staying. Ella was born on a Thursday in September. 7 pounds, 2 ounces, wrapped in a white blanket with a pink bow larger than her fist. The drive home from the hospital felt longer than it ever had. Claire's husband drove. Claire sat in the back beside the car seat, one hand resting on Ella's chest, feeling it rise and fall. Rex and Shadow were waiting at the door. Claire's husband went inside first, told them to sit, told them to stay. They sat, they stayed, but their eyes were fixed on the car seat in Claire's arms with an intensity that made her breath catch. She set Ella down on the living room floor, still in the car seat, and stepped back. Rex moved first, slowly, each step deliberate, like he understood the weight of the moment. He stopped 18 inches from the car seat, lowered his head, and took one long breath. Then he looked up at Claire, then back at Ella. Then he lay down, flat on the floor, front paws extended toward her, and didn't move. Shadow came next. Same approach, same careful steps. She circled the car seat once, one full, slow circle, then settled on the opposite side from Rex. The two of them formed a ring around Ella without being asked, without a single command. Claire stood in the middle of her living room and felt something shift. They already know, she thought. They already know she's ours. Still watching but haven't subscribed yet? That genuinely breaks my heart. Hit subscribe now. You're gonna want to see what happens next. The first week was a study in precision. Rex and Shadow had always been active dogs, energetic, physical, the kind of dogs that filled every room they entered with movement and presence. Around Ella, they became something else entirely. They moved slowly near her, always. Even when Ella cried at 2 a.m. and startled them both awake, they rose carefully, quietly, and padded to the doorway of her room without rushing. They never crowded her, never competed for space beside her. Every morning at 6:20, before Claire's alarm, before her husband moved, Rex would rise from his spot on the floor and walk to Ella's bassinet. He didn't bark, didn't nudge it, just stood there, looking in until Ella stirred. Shadow had her own system. She slept directly beside the bassinet, her breathing so steady and deep that Claire started to wonder if Ella had learned to sync her sleep to it. The night everything became permanent was a Tuesday in January. Ella was 4 months old. Claire had been asleep since 10 p.m., exhausted from a double shift, counting on her husband to handle the midnight feeding.
She woke up at 3:17 a.m. to a sound she had never heard from either dog before. Not barking, not whining, something between the two. Low, layered, urgent, coming from down the hall, coming from Ella's room. Claire was moving before she was fully awake. She pushed the door open and stopped. Rex was standing at the far end of the crib, front paws on the rail, looking down at Ella. Shadow was pressed against the side, her nose through the slats, making the same low sound, steady, insistent, impossible to ignore. Ella's face was pale, her lips had a faint blue tinge, her chest was moving but wrong, too shallow, too slow. Claire grabbed her daughter and ran. The hospital was 11 minutes away. They made it in 7. The doctor said one word, croup, severe. If you'd waited another 30 minutes, he said, how did you know to come in? Claire thought about Rex at the crib rail, Shadow's nose through the slats. That sound, low, layered, impossible to sleep through. My dogs told me, she said. Ella is 14 months old now. She has learned to walk by holding on to Rex's back. Shadow lets Ella put bows in her fur, sits completely still while tiny hands work the clips into place. Claire's neighbor, the one who brought the printed article, stopped her on the sidewalk last month. Good, Claire said. They're the reason she's here. Then she said, I have a sister who's pregnant. She has a German Shepherd. Tell her to keep him, Claire said. Tell her to trust him. German Shepherds are the third most intelligent dog breed in the world. They don't just follow commands, they read context, they read emotion, they read the room. What Rex and Shadow did that January night wasn't training, it wasn't instinct alone. It was attention, pure, unbroken 3 a.m. attention. If you're bringing a baby home to a large breed dog, don't listen to the fear. Watch the dog, learn their language, because they are already watching you, already learning yours. And on the night it matters most, that attention will be the only thing standing between your child and the dark. Trust them. They already know what they're for. 2 German Shepherds and a newborn. Would you have taken that chance, or would fear have won? Tell me in the comments.